Good evening. Happy Thursday. Yes, almost Friday. So tonight we are going to get started. I got 3 apps to give you guys. So you guys know I love apps. So we're going to get into that. Hey girl, how are you? Good to see you guys. Oh, I've missed you, girl. Everything's looking good on your end. I'm loving your photos and everything. Let's see. So yeah. So this is the late happy hour. We're going to get into it. I'm going to give you guys 3 apps that I think will help you guys like lives out better, and just kind of play around with. So you may or may not have heard of these apps, but if not, you need to have them in some type of way that will help you out with your feed in general. So hey guys, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining. So before we get started, I am Steph of Phoenix Michelle Photography, and I am a photographer, videographer, and IG strategist out of Dallas, Texas. And so every week what I do is I come on here, give you guys tips and basically like video tutorials. I like to call it like a YouTube, but like you can kind of interact, I guess, kind of like a live. And so what you do is just giving you tips. And so if you want to have, any other tips that you've seen that I've done in the past, you can check out my IGTV channel. I have a lot of different videos on there for you guys that know that I've been doing this for a while. I've gone through and done all kinds of tutorials, apps, and breaking down a lot of things. Hey Jarrell, good to see you guys. Hey Zach. Hey you guys. Thanks for joining. You said help. Oh, you said hello. I thought that said help. I'm like, what? Help already? So let's go ahead and get into it. So these are some apps that if you may not, or, like I said before, you may or may not have heard of before, but they should help you out in one way or the other. So getting into it, Bitly is one. So Bitly, if you ever have done anything, how you have the link in your bio, that is one thing you can use to shorten up your links. So we don't like to have to type in a whole bunch of stuff, and you can kind of customize it. But another really good thing about Bitly as well, that you can track. So you can see how many people click on a link. And so for you, that's really good to kind of see like, okay, what's really hot and what's not. And if it's not hot, then you need to get rid of it and try to switch it up, right? So that is one thing I really love to do. So like if you have a super long website like mine, my website is phoenixmichelle.com, but I may not want everybody to go through all that, right? phoenixmichelle.com/check me out for pricing. Like that's a really long link. So let me show you guys how this works. So this is a link, and so you can see I have all my stuff here. So what you do is, let's say you have your link. So it could be whatever you want. So for my example, I'm making up a link. So this is not a real link that I have on my site, but just to kind of give you guys a good walkthrough, of how it works. So at phoenixmichelle.com, and then I would recommend that you just copy and paste your link in, not type it in all long like I'm doing, but just for the purposes of this, for this example for you guys. But obviously I put fake long website, like that's obviously not like a real website, right? But this is just to show you guys how this is really good to have. So like if you're trying to type something up or you want people to kind of join in. And so you see, this is the link, but it gives you one automatically. But what I really like about this is that you can go in and you can customize it. So I can say Bitly, and then I'll say like /test link. And then I will give it like a title. Hey, Jay Chapman. Is that Jay Chapman? I think I'm saying it right. Photography. And then who else came on here? Jalen loves photography. Good to see you. Truly Charm. Hey girl. Thank you guys. DWZ date. I don't know. Days one. I don't know how you say that, but yes, thank you for joining. So, and you see I've updated it. Hey, Ashley. So what you do is you can go on there and you can change it up and track it. So it's going to show you again. So you see all these other things I've had on there. So I use this app all the time and I go back to it. So people ask me like, hey, what's your pricing? I go back to my app, I copy and I paste it and I drop it to them. So it's really good for things like that. If you have someone that's constantly asking you for the same link over and over again, this is kind of like a storage also where you can keep your links at. So like if you're a boutique owner or you have a sign up form that you have people, so like Truly Charmed, I know you have a Facebook group. So this could be a link. So create a Bitly link with your Facebook link to your Facebook group. And so every time you say, hey, you guys join my Facebook group, or someone DMs you, say, hey, you want my link to my Facebook group, DM me. And what you do is you drop them the link directly to their DM so that way they can access it and they can click it, right? So it makes it easier for them to join your group and things like that. So here I go again. And this is how I'm customizing it. So like for Truly Charmed, maybe your / link could be, Truly Charmed Facebook group or FB group. If the link is not available, it will definitely say not available. So if someone else has that same exact name, it's not going to work. So what I like to do is I like to put PM for Phoenix Michelle in front of it, and then whatever I want to call it. And for the most part, it's somewhat available, but sometimes it's not. So yeah, I like this for really long links, and no one wants to type in all that, right? Like mine is Phoenix Michelle Photography, or phoenixmichelle.com/pricing, phoenixmichelle.branding. Like that's a lot. Like if you want to make it easier for people to get access to you, you make it short and sweet. And most people, I think, are somewhat familiar with Bitly. It's been around for a while, and I learned it back when I was doing my fashion blogging years ago. And so I just was like, this is amazing. And it's not only for the fact that it can shorten links up for you, but you can track it. So, I love analytics. And so you really need to stay on top of seeing, okay, is this a really good link? How many people are going to it? How many clicks am I getting? So it's really good to kind of see over time. And what it does also, it'll show you, hey, these are your top links. So if you have some links that are performing really well, you want to study that. Say, okay, this link did really well, but why? So that's kind of why I really, really enjoy this app, and just the fact that you can customize it and it's free. So I love a lot of apps. I think there's some premium stuff that you can get that costs extra, of course, right? Like that added bonus of more money if you want to pay for it. But for me, I'm always a fan of free because it helps me with my overhead, right? And so that's the example you just saw where it popped up and it says custom link not available. So if my link that you pick out or whatever you pick out does not work, it will definitely let you know, and it will not work. So then you will have to go back in there again and try it out. And I just made up some random stuff. So hopefully, when you name it or you use this app, you will definitely use something that you're going to remember. But at the end of the day, you still will see all your links. So like, as you're seeing, you guys can see all my links that I've created. So like if I get featured, like I had an article where I was featured, and so I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm going to set myself up for that. Hey, Jill, good to see you. That I will set that up that way. And so that way you can just have it. It's easier to keep track of. You got the numbers, it's short and sweet. You can drop it. And so I always try to direct people to DM me for things because it's just easier, right? Like if you put or either to a link in your bio. Hey, girl. If you do that, that's a direct link. But like when you put a link in your caption, according to right now, and if you guys watch my post that I did, I think it was like last week or so, I dropped some gems in there for you guys about some future updates that are possibly coming to Instagram. That may change in the future, but for now, captions and links, you just can't. People got to copy and paste it or type it in. So if you got a Bitly link, they're more likely to do that. But until then, tell them to DM you a link versus just like, or click the link in your bio, right? But I think some people, you tell people that and I'm like, do people do that though? I hope they do. I really do. But in the event that they don't, that is what you can do. Speaking of that, I was like, I didn't put that in there because I said for you guys to click my link in my bio. So that's the first app, okay, guys, that I recommend. PicsArt is the new one. I guess it's not new. It's been around for a while, but I've been kind of playing around with this, and I'm going to go into more detail with it because it is actually really fun. But let me show you guys. So this one you can get really fancy. So like if you're someone that like to layer, so like with photography, right, we have Photoshop where we work with layers so you can kind of blend stuff together. Well, this app is kind of like that, where you can do a lot of layering and you can erase things. And I'm gonna show you guys the example that I used was actually a photo that I posted today. Actually, I think it's today's post or yesterday's post that I did, and just kind of showing you just a tip of what you can do. Like I've seen videos of people really going in and really making stuff happen. So for me, I'm like, wow, it's really fun. So let's get into it. So this is PicsArt. So this is kind of the opening. I selected this photo just to kind of play around with. So it's a photo that I took the other day, or not the other day, I took it a while ago, but it's from a branding session with another photographer out here. Because, photographers, we need photos too, right? So what you do is you click on sticker, because there's a sticker function down at the bottom. And what you do is I just went through and I did a search for glitter, because I was like, okay, maybe I'll overlay some glitter for this photo. But you can see there's like a gazillion stickers. So I just picked something at random that I thought would kind of go with this photo, and I'm layering it on there. So think about this and just from a creative perspective, like if you have some text or you have some circles or some rings, if you want to do something kind of geometric, I think that would be really dope to do something like that. To kind of play around with, because I think that's what I'm going to do, is play around with it that way. And then there's an eraser. So what I do is, you see there's the eraser is kind of disappearing off of her, which I thought that was really great. So I'm erasing the glitter or the little stars kind of look off of her. I can't ever get with Pixar. You can't. Yeah, I know. I've gone back and forth with it. And so this time I think it just kind of depends. I think some of it looks kind of outdated to me, or a little kiddie. You know, I think it's great for kids. I think you got to play around with it, with the look of it. It is PicsArt. So PICARTS. See, Pix. I'll type it in here for you guys. I think, let me make sure I'm actually saying it right too. I think it's PicsArt. And I don't mean to scream at you. It just came up all caps. I'm not screaming, Jill. But yeah, but that's it, of the way it works. And so I like it for that. So like for me, if I was doing something, I would probably play around with different looks in different ways. So you can go through and filter it. I mean, it's so many different things you could do on this. So I think I'm gonna do some more tutorials on this, because I think that this could be a really great tool. I just don't want it to go down the deep end and not look great. You know, I feel like some stuff you can do and it looks kind of kiddie, or kind of, I don't want to say kitty, but I don't know the word that I'm trying to use, but there is a way that something looks and I'm like, ooh, it doesn't look as touched up, I think, as I would like it to look. So like this, I mean, I wouldn't really post this. Like for me, I wouldn't. This is just to show kind of the example, more of the eraser functionality of it that I liked, that I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then you just download it and you save it, and you can post it, share it, do whatever you want. So like if you're trying to jazz something up that you already have, I think this would be kind of fun. So like this is another way we're always talking about repurposing your content, right? Because I know like with COVID and things like that, you may not be getting out as much, and then the holidays are coming up, which means I think everything else is going to kind of shut down. People are going to start going on holidays and breaks and stuff too, I believe. And so with that, take some of your old photos and kind of play around with it. Add some text to it. Maybe put a quote on it. So doing some different things like that, I think is something that you really could try to do with this kind of tool. But I think there's a lot that can be done. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And this is just something that I just kind of picked up really quick to kind of just see the potential of it. So I think it has great potential to do some things that I've seen that was actually pretty cool that can be done. So you guys will probably see some of that. I'll probably play more with it on my stories more than my feed. You know, my feed is a certain look that I kind of like. And it's mostly of my work and my portfolio. This is more stuff that I would kind of play around with just for fun and just for examples for you guys. So yeah. Hey girl. And so let me get into the next thing that I have for you guys. So the next app is Creator Studio. So I don't know if you guys have ever used this, because this is through Facebook. So this is a Facebook app, but Facebook actually has a desktop version, which I guess you can access from your PC or your Mac, but it is Facebook Creator Studio. And actually they just came out with this app, because originally there wasn't an app for this. And so I really liked it, because this is another way you can actually post to Facebook and Instagram at the same time, and you could do IGTV. So if you said you never heard of it. I know a lot of people have never heard of it, and it's actually made by Facebook. It's actually really it's really good as far as like stats and stuff you can get from it. You can do direct posting. So like, let's say you have an IGTV video, you don't have to, if you recorded it from your phone, you don't have to, do it that way. You can actually upload it like on your computer. Kind of sometimes for me, I will record stuff on my phone, but I am also a video editor. So sometimes I will edit stuff on my desktop, or all my files are on my computer, right? Especially as a photographer, like my photos are already on my computer. Whereas in the past, I would do some editing, put it on my computer, then I would airdrop it to my phone, and then I would go from there. Hey, Daniel. But by doing this instead, they also have the mobile app. So if it's already on your phone, you could just do it that way and upload it and post. Right? So Facebook Creator is the name of this app, and it is a really great tool. So you can get your stats, and it actually has really good stats on there. So you can see like your numbers, what's performing, what's not performing well, what you need to work on. And then you also can schedule out stuff. So if you're not a fan of scheduling, and Instagram is kind of weird with some of those scheduling apps, like they like it, but they don't like it because they don't want anybody touching, moving their cheese or touching their API. And so with that, it is a bit of a challenge for some apps to do direct posting. So you may have some apps that are like, oh yeah, you can schedule it and then post directly to Instagram. But there's a lot of apps that don't do that. Hey, Kendra. Hey, Photography by Cheryl. So that's a lot of that takes a little bit of that Instagram does not like. So Creator Studio is really, really great tool. And I wish people like would use more of it because it's actually really great. And I'm really glad that they have an app because like sometimes I want to do stuff on the go and I'm not at home. I'm not on my Mac. So this really helps. So let me show you guys a little bit of what that's looking like. So this is the app, and I guess it's shrunk down. So I'm sorry, y'all, it's kind of cut down, but it shows you all the apps, all your posts, all your stats, like, hey, this is how your app's doing. This is how many people looked at it. This is how many people liked it. And it also gives you like performance of the last 7 days, but you can filter it out actually to see more than that. And it goes into your video views. So I have a lot of red because I haven't really been posting like consistently like I was supposed to. And that's more video stuff, but you can see how many people are actually watching your content. You can see like region stuff. So you can really, really break it down. So for me, it's actually a really great tool because it's one thing to post and create pretty content, but if no one's seeing your content, then it's just trash. It's a waste of time, right? And that's what we're working for. Like, especially like when you create content, it's hard. You get out here, you spend all this time, blood, sweat, and tears, and then like nobody sees it. So this is a great way for you to go in and to kind of see how your stuff is performing. And so this is where you can post. So at the bottom, you kind of can see, you can do a new post from here. So if you want to post a video, you can go live. I mean, you can do text, so you can actually make some of your content as well because it has a studio part of it as well. So you can record video and stuff within it. So it's actually really, really like, it's really, really a lot. Like you can actually crush it and do a lot of different things on there. So that makes it a really fun app to really play around with. As well. And I really enjoy it because I love numbers and the stats. So you always want to see how things are going. Okay, why did this perform well? Why is this not doing good? And it also shows you what content's resonating with your audience and what is not resonating with your audience, right? So like you can pivot that. Okay, I did this, the audience didn't really like it, or maybe you didn't post it at the right time. Like maybe I posted at a time and none of my audience is online, right? So that's like for me, hey you guys, hey Sheena, like I can't see what the stuff are rolling. Hey Chip. So with that, it just kind of helps you out with understanding what is going on and really understanding your numbers. And so that's why I really believe like Creator Studio is really slept on. I don't know why a lot of people don't use it, but it's really great. So I'm definitely, y'all gonna hear me talk about it because I love it. I think it's a great tool to have in your box of, of things to have. Like you always want to know your numbers and kind of seeing how everything's going. And things like that. So let me just run through the apps for you guys again, because those are the 3 that I have for you tonight. So Bitly is the one that helps you to shorten up your links. So like, let's say you have a super mega link or you have a link that someone's constantly asking you for. So like Truly Charmed, like you have your Facebook group. Hey, I'm going to make me a short Bitly link. I'm going to shorten it up and it's going to be TCF, like Facebook group or something like that. So you're going to drop that. Say, hey, you guys, have you heard about my Facebook group? You need to join. Here, go DM me for the link. And so what they do is they'll say, oh my God, I didn't know you had a Facebook group. And you're going to say, fantastic. I'm glad you learned because now you can get in it. Here goes the link. So you got that. And then you could go on there and it will keep track of how many people actually click on your link. Okay. So you keep track of that. You know your stats. You can see which one of your links are performing the best that you have created in it. So that's one thing I really like Bitly for. So I think that's a great way to use it. I use it all the time for all my stuff. So like people say, hey, what's your pricing? What's your pricing page? I have one for my pricing that I send it. So every time someone DMs me and they're like, hey, what's your prices? Boom, they're getting a Bitly link because that way I can keep track of it. And it's easy for me because I already have it saved. I don't have to go through my website. I don't have it in my notes app, but like I can do that. Daniel said, I got a long link right now. Yeah, there you go. Well, then you need to download Bitly, Daniel, and then you can download it, okay? Hey, 126, good to see you. Let's see, Miss Price CEO. Okay, in the building. So yeah, so those are great things that I think you guys should use. Hey, Rita. So that's another good app. So I love Bitly just for shortening up stuff. So like if you have like a quick promotion, because I know a lot of my photographer friends are out here doing like mini sessions. So set it up as a mini session. See how many clicks you get. You know what I mean? So like keep track of it. Like numbers is a good thing. It's never a bad thing. And don't get discouraged if you only have a couple of clicks. It's just really good to have that kind of stuff. So never sleep on your numbers. Like you really got to stay on top of that. All right. So that's the first app. The second one is PicsArt. So I was kind of showing you guys that's where you can do a lot of layering. You can get a lot, you can do like a lot of geometric kind of stuff with it, do some layering, kind of jazz up some old content. So we're always talking about repurposing your content if you don't have it. But if you don't have any good content, like you can always repurpose some old stuff, okay? Like people do it all the time, so don't worry about it. So PicsArt is one to kind of play around with and everything like that. Let's see, Donna, okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Sheena, analytics are great. You know about numbers. You know we love the numbers. We love the numbers. Oh, thank you, Chip. And Donna, how are you? I love the information you share with us. Ah, I'm glad. Yeah, I try to tell you guys like stuff that I know that I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Like that'll be a really good one. And then third is Creator Studio. So like if you don't do anything, download, I think, Bitly and Creator Studio. Like those are the two I think you really need to download, and gives you access to all your Facebook information. And your Facebook and your Instagram pages are generally connected together. If it's a business page, so you can see all your numbers and all your stats. So I think it's something that you really, really need to stay on top of, and it's really helpful to kind of see what's working and what's not working. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like we have to have our numbers in order to figure it out. So on that note, a special announcement. So I think if you guys were on here last week, I made the same announcement, and guess what? I'm going to make it again. So I have a special wait list. So you see all this information that I'm giving you guys. So I'm glad, Donna, you said that this is good information, because this is really great and it's fun, but I could do so much more for you guys. So I want you to join my wait list. I'm going to show you guys even more details. So like I'm going to do even more tutorials and things like that, but you have to sign up for my wait list. And guess what? The link is in my bio. All right. So make sure you go to the link in my bio to go check it out, sign up. I'm going to be emailing out information and tips and things like that. So be sure to get on that list, because you don't want to miss out. So I give out good information on this live. Can you imagine what I'm going to do like one-on-one, like in an email? It's going to be good. All right. So I'm always here for you guys. Be sure to give me a DM. Once again, if you have any questions, like definitely send them my way. If you're like, hey, I did this and I was still confused by it, especially like on Creator Studio or Bitly or something like that, just shoot me a DM. I'm always game for that. And I'll be here next week. So, have a great weekend. Hope you guys have a great time. And, be well, be successful, get out there and let's crush it. Let's work. We got things to do. You guys got new tools. Let me know how it works out for you guys if you enjoy it. And so you guys have a good one. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.